Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is Merfolk at the request of Eric on Patreon. Merfolk got a few new toys out of Modern Horizons 2, namely Tide Shaper and Svyelyn. Svyelyn? Svyelyn. Svyelyn looks right. Svyelyn of the Sea and Sky. So Tide Shaper, 1 mana 1/1, gets +1/+1 as long as your opponent controls an island. And for kicker 1 colorless, you can have target land become an island as long as Tide Shaper remains on the battlefield. So this is a powerful effect. Merfolk is kind of built on the fact that most legacy decks are blue, and your creatures will always have island walk between the 8 lords. Tide Shaper turns the non-blue decks into blue decks, basically. You get to walk through their islands, and this does not say island in addition to its other land types. It becomes an island, so that Eye of Ugin is now an island that taps for blue, loses all its other text. That Badlands is now an island. So this kind of also serves as mana screw in certain matchups. So that's pretty cool. Svyelyn of the Sea and Sky, powerful new Merfolk god, 3 mana 3/4, already the biggest thing in the deck. It has indestructible as long as you control at least 2 other Merfolk, and being that it's the top of your curve, you should probably have 2 Merfolk when this thing arrives. When it attacks, draw a card. That's huge. The card advantage out of Merfolk, it used to just be Silvergill Adept, and Silvergill Adept is a messed up card. Like, it might not look like it on the surface, but 2 mana 2/1 draw a card is an extremely powerful ability. And Svyelyn keeps that party going. When it attacks, you draw a card. And other Merfolk you control have Ward 1, which means if it becomes targeted by a spell or ability an opponent controls, they have to pay an additional 1 or that spell or ability is countered. So this is reminiscent of Kira, Great Glass Spinner, which is a card that Merfolk has played in the past. Kira straight up counters the first ability, that target spell or ability that targets a Merfolk every turn, so it's a little better than Svyelyn there. But Svyelyn is one-sided, Kira is not, so if this deck doesn't have any reason you'd want to target your own Merfolk with anything, but in the past, like, Umezawa's Jitte was in Merfolk decks, and like if you wanna equip Jitte when you have Kira out, it costs 2 to break the Kira bubble, and then another 2 to actually equip it. So this being one-sided could matter in a different build of Merfolk. It also is just a better creature than Kira on stats, just a 3/4, also a Merfolk, frequently indestructible. You get a lot more out of it, and the ward bubble is a little smaller, but I think is going to do some work. Outside of that, this is classic Legacy Merfolk. We have Aether Vial. We have a nice, clean, rock-solid mana base. Includes Mutavault, which is itself a Merfolk. Cavern of Souls make your Merfolk uncounterable, which is good because this is a Chalice of the Void deck as well. That's your prison element. Plus we have 6 forces to keep us alive, just long enough to deal 20 damage. And the sideboard, a couple of the lists I saw had Suspend in the sideboard, the new kind of temporary removal spell from Modern Horizons 2. But I thought that with Chalice of the Void in the deck, and our creatures being unblockable most of the time, and Tide Shaper making them unblockable even more of the time, I think that Suspend is not what we're looking for. I don't think we need to answer creatures, I think we need to answer permanents. So bounce spells in Venser and Echoing Truth, for whatever random permanent ails you, sometimes even a creature. Like, let's at least check those boxes. Back to basics, huge deal. We have 11 basics in the deck plus Aether Vial. Dismember for when we also need to remove creatures. And Spyglass, Relic, and Cage. Just a nice, squeaky clean little Merfolk sideboard with clean answers to various threats Legacy could present. Last time I played Merfolk on the channel, put up a 5-0, got that trophy. Let's see if we can keep it going. On the play for round number 1, I've kept this hand that is rock solid. I'm going to lead on my island so I can play around Wasteland, and it doesn't give away right away that I'm on Merfolk. As soon as I play Cavern on Merfolk, the jig is up. Alright, we're playing against Death and Taxes. So I'm going to continue playing around Wasteland because they're not going to have counterspells in their hand. But I do have 3 drops in my deck. So now I can double spell next turn, even through a Wasteland, because I drew a 1-drop. So this is pretty sweet. This is also a very good deck to have Tide Shaper against. That's the one that can turn other lands into islands. Maybe turning off this Rashadan Port or taking them off white mana. Like, these are both big things that I'm going to want to do. All right, now I am going to play the Cavern because I'm much more interested in Cavern getting wastelanded than Mutavault in this matchup. I'm going to have to overpower this Mother of Runes before they get Umezawa's Jitte online. So no attacks yet. Thalia has first strike, plus the Mother can give Pro Blue. So I lose that combat twice. There's that Wasteland I warned you about. Stoneforge Mystic is a problem here, if that's what they have. Alright, looks like they started to make decisions and then backed them off. Ooh, attacking with Thalia is bold. That thing was holding back my whole squad. What do they have here? Is it like another Thalia? And they just pushed for 3? That doesn't make sense. Alright, let's find out what this is. Or just nothing. Oh, they have Swords to Plowshares. That's what's going on. Okay. Alright, so now I am going to play the Mutavault because if they have another Wasteland, that's fine, but if they don't, I want to get this 4/4 beater into play. So here's Lord of Atlantis. Make my creatures grow and attack for a zillion. I expect my master will get plowed here. Yep. But the Lord still makes my other creatures big enough to survive a tangle with Mother of Runes, which if I hadn't had the second Lord, the Mother would have just been able to ambush them in combat and take them out clean. And then little post-combat Mutavault. So next turn, if I don't draw a different spell to cast, I can activate Benthic Biomancer and loot a card. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck that's been added like in the present era of Magic. Just any more card selection, any more card draw. Same things I was saying about Svyelyn in the deck tech. These extra cards are a huge deal. Ooh, now if they want to Rashadan Port me, it's going to cost them life points. I like that. I like True Name Nemesis in this matchup too. So I think I'm just going to... Oh, I do get blown out by Swords to Plowshares here on an attack. I guess Blowout is strong. They still take 1 or 2. Alright, I'm going to make my attack. If they have Plow, it's fine. It's going to cost them a life to do it. They're still going to take damage from combat. Yeah, not a big deal. And they have to block Silvergill Adept, or else I can pump this. But they don't need to know that yet. Plus I have True Name Nemesis coming down the pipe. Yeah, if I hadn't drawn True Name, maybe I don't make that attack, but I did, so I will. There it is. Name you. True Name Nemesis is historically the absolute, well, nemesis of Death and Taxes. They don't have a lot of main deck answers to that one. They took out my Mutavault. That's fine. Oh, pushing for damage. I guess that makes sense. It can't block. Might as well. I'm at 19. Those Swords to Plowshares have buffed my life total quite a bit. Alright, so in response to Rashadan Port, I'm going to adapt my Biomancer. I'm going to use that mana while I can. Drawing a Lord's pretty nice. Drawing another Lord's even nicer. Yeah, they're in trouble over there. No reason to attack with the Benthic Biomancer. I'm not bluffing anything with the Mother of Runes. Like, they could just block tap. I'll save us all some time, and leave back my 3/3 blocker. Drawing a card with Silent Clearing, the Desperation move. And they packed it up. Merfolk, too big, too strong. Against human folk. Okay, against Death and Taxes. I want Echoing Truth. Because Umezawa's Jitte is a problem. Probably want the Dismembers, but maybe not as much as you might think. I think Sorcerer's Spyglass and Echoing Truth are my main things I'm interested in, and then Dismember and Venser come next. So Chalice of the Void, I'm going to be on the draw, and their 1-drops are Mother of Runes, Aether Vial, Swords to Plowshares, which are all good cards, but being on the draw, I think it's going to be a little slow. Maybe on the play, I leave that in, but that's not the game we're playing. Tide Shaper seems incredible for the matchup. Force of Negation can come out for sure. So that's 6 cards cut. Definitely these 4 in. And then I probably want Dismember more than I want Venser. Though Venser having a body is relevant, but Dismember costing 1 most of the time also relevant. So I'm going to go with Dismember on the draw. If we get a game on the play, I'll consider Chalice of the Void and Venser. Yeah, I still like the Force of Wills because fighting over Swords of Plowshares is relevant. Maybe the 3rd Dismember is better than the 4th Force. Though on the draw, no, I do like Force a lot. Let's go. Back to Basics has a lot of application in this matchup. I just don't think we need it. I think we need to stick True Name Nemesis and clock their face without dying to Cauldron Complete in the meantime. Alright, this is a keeper. It's kind of soft to Wasteland, but it's very good. They have an Aether Vial, sure. I can Spyglass that if I'm so inclined. Force of Will is nice, better late than never. I'll take it. Alright, there's the Wasteland. That's what I was worried about. Let's draw Basic Island. Mutavault. Okay, I mean, at least it's a land drop. So I'll name Merfolk with this. And then I'm going to Spyglass, probably naming Aether Vial. Ooh, okay. I'm going to pivot onto Wasteland with the Sorcerer Spyglass. They have one in their hand, one here. The Stoneforge Mystic. Actually, the Stoneforge Mystic is basically unbeatable. So maybe I'd have to name Aether Vial. Yeah, I think I do have to name Aether Vial. Bummer. That was almost juicy enough to name Wasteland. But I'm going to name Vial. And now they're going to have to cast that Stoneforge Mystic, and I can Force of Will it. Alright, the old end of turn Wasteland. Absolutely no reason to do that. Untap, draw your card, see what you drew before you make any decisions. They took Vial up to 2. There's another Wasteland. Here comes the Stoneforge probably, which I am going to pitch my... I think Svyelyn is the answer. They have double Plow in hand. Yeah, I'm going to pitch Svyelyn. I want to get on board with this Lord of Atlantis this turn. Ooh, interesting. If they take me off double blue with the Cavern, so I could end up getting just color screwed here by the double Wasteland. But I'm going to have some faith in my deck that I'll draw a blue source. Because they're probably going to waste me here anyway, so I'm 2 turns away from True Name Nemesising. Yep, there's the waste. Alright, so they have Plow, Prelate, and a mystery card over there. Nice. I'm going to play around Wasteland. Alright, they didn't Violent Sanctum Prelate. That's interesting. Like, why have that card in your deck if you're not going to put it into play? Yeah, sure. It resolves. Could have put it in for free in the end step, but yeah, it resolves. What do you even name? Like 5 for Force of Will? If you name 1, you lose your own Swords to Plowshares. My deck barely has spells in it. I guess 3 is the right name to respect Dismember. They don't even know. They're thinking so hard about this. I think the right answer is 3. But 3 turns off Council's Judgment and Holy Light, which are 2 of the ways Death and Taxes can beat a True Name Nemesis. Alright, cool. One of them's in. Protection from you. Let's go. Mother of Runes, you got it. Alright, 1 card left in their hand, and it's Swords to Plowshares. They won't have a target for that until I activate Mutavault, which I'm not in a hurry to do, for obvious reasons. Another one. Alright, yeah, they're just conceding. They couldn't beat the first one, now they're facing down 2 of them. True Name Nemesis, too good. On to round number 2. On the draw for the second round. I'm going to keep this hand. It doesn't have an Aether Vial, doesn't really explode out, but the Tide Shaper is pretty nice. And it looks like they are, in fact, a island deck anyway. Alright, I'm going to play around Days here. I'm going to name Merfolk. And I'm going to go ahead and put Tide Shaper in front of this Ragavan. They're going to need a Lightning Bolt to get through this. They can't Daze here. And the deck plays a lot of Lightning Bolts, but So if they have Lightning Bolt and Wasteland, and then start connecting with Rag, we could fall behind. But if they don't have both of those things, one or the other is not good enough. Maybe I should lead on Benthic Biomancer, because I guess it doesn't matter. Like, I'm gonna run him over or I'm not. Like, I'm just trying to think of, like, I may have wasted a 2/2 in a situation where a 1/1 would have done the job, but I think it's fine. So Brainstorm, they stole a Force of Will out of my deck with Ragavan. I didn't want that anyway. Just trying to fade that Wasteland here. If I can get Svyelyn into play, and Ward is huge, and so is 3/4 against this deck. Also, for what it's worth, I think we run away with this game on the play. This Ragavan just doesn't do anything if it's facing down 2 blockers. Ooh, missed their land drop. Ouch. So they're Brainstorm locked over there. I think I want to play 2 Biomancers, because that takes Lightning Bolt off the table. And if they want to daze this, it's fine. It's the same as, like by casting the first one off the island, it lets them not daze that one, because I can just pay for it, and then they can't daze this one. And now I have 2 blockers for the Rag. You're going to need 2 Lightning Bolts off your 1 land to make this happen. All right, there's that. And if they don't have that, ooh, finally, a Bauble. I've been talking about this for weeks now, like waiting to see Baubles show up in these Dragon Rage Channeler decks. Like, the Channeler just takes so long to turn on that adding weird stuff, like outside of the normal instant land sorcery creature, like put some Baubles in your deck, maybe play a Tarfire for a tribal. Like, these decks are just really bad at getting Delirium most of the time. But they didn't have Wasteland last turn, so I think Svyelyn's going to resolve this turn. Oh, they just saw the Svyelyn off the Bauble, which means they're probably going to attack with Ragavan. Wow, they didn't. I'm honestly surprised by that. A little impressed, too. Like, I think you want to get a trade off your irrelevant 2/1 before the indestructible 3/4 comes down. But there it is. Now my Merfolk have Ward facing down this person who's stuck on 1 land. Lord of Atlantis turns this into 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage of unblockable, and Svyelyn draws a card when it attacks. It's looking pretty good. All right, we got a Ponder. That's fine. The Channeler gets a look. So they have Artifact Instant in... Now they have Sorcery. So if they find a land and fetch, this will be a 3/3 flying. I don't currently have any answer to a flyer, so I'm just going to have to race it. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Ooh, that's not a fetch land. I like that. But I guess if they put a second land... Alright, they milled a creature. So this does turn on the Rager, but it has to attack every turn, which means that it's not going to be around to block. But it wasn't blocking anyway, so I guess that doesn't matter. Alright, time to just crunch with my creatures. I'd really like to draw a land so I can activate Biomancer and still cast a Lord. Drew a Lord. So there is a play where I could activate a Biomancer, hope to spike a land, but I don't think I need to do that. I'm just going to play the Lord. There it is. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're on a pretty quick clock, even with the Ragavan. So 5. I think I'm just going to attack with 2 Merfolk. So let's do the math here. So 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. Yeah, so that's a 3-turn clock. If I 8 them now to 12, and then next turn attack with 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, they're actually on a 2-turn clock if I just go in here. So I'm going to do that. Nice. Found an island. I'm going to play that and threaten a Biomancer activation. I'm not going to run a Master into Daze. And I can pitch one of these Masters to Force of Will, a removal spell. Alright, here it comes. So pay the Ward. Surveil one. And then I'm going to force this. They probably want to force back. if they have it. Alright, they did in fact force back. Sure. It's happened. Killed my lord. So here comes the 5 damage. It's the rag. Rag stole a master. Another one of these. Okay. So let's do some math here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do 10 next turn, which is less than their life total. This is 6 damage in the air. If I tap Waterlogged Grove to grow my Biomancer, then I'm at 7. I'm dead to a lot of stuff. This isn't card advantage, it's just card selection, and Master is already the card that I want. The +1/+1 is not super important here. I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt, and I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt either way. I guess I should grow the creature if I'm dead to Bolt either way. Alright, so we're gonna loot, and I don't want True Name. I want a second Lord. Adept, huh? Alright, so just do this math again. 4, 7, 10. Yep, they're still at 11. I could Silvergill Adept and reveal Master. Or I could Master and let's look at the deck. Is there any reason to Master first? I guess attacking with Svyelyn could draw Chalice of the Void, which plays me around Lightning Bolt. So if I attack with this, and I guess they could get the opportunity to block, which would take damage off the board. So 3 plus... Yeah, I'm just going to attack with Svyelyn. It's indestructible and lets me draw cards. I'll give them the opportunity to chump block. Right, they did not fall for that. And then I guess I play my Master. Force of Negation wasn't bad. That gets me around Lightning Bolt. Master makes Benthic Biomancer big enough to just eat Ragavan. They have 2 cards left in hand over there. My plan is to win this game at 1 life. Let's see if it works out that way. They get to see 5 cards off this Ponder. That's pretty impressive. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Oh, they're brainstorming now. Okay. Fresh looks all around. So now they need land Lightning Bolt plus Force of Will backup or Double Daze backup because I can't tap the Waterlogged Grove because I'm at 1, effectively. Svyelyn was a monster. Just drawing 2 cards this game. That was nice. They found the land. Oh, Bauble. Wow. Okay. Sure. So they're down to 1 card in hand now, which means that I don't think they can win. Because they needed Force Blue card to back up their Lightning Bolt or Double Daze to back up Lightning Bolt, and 1 card doesn't do that either way. I guess if they attack me to 1, if their hand is Lightning Bolt Daze, then they can attack me to 1, and then on my turn, bolt me, and then I can hardcast Force of Negation, but I can't pay for Daze. And here they come. I'm at 1. Crash. They said wrong lightning. Oh, Chain Lightning? Oh, yeah, there is a Chain Lightning in the graveyard. I had Force of Negation. You're okay, buddy? Oh, okay. So yeah, they were playing around Force of Negation, it seems, by milling the Chain Lightning, looking for Lightning Bolt, and then they forgot to even activate their Bauble for the one last look at Bolt. Alright, got it. That was a tight game. I had opportunities to mess that up that I luckily didn't take. Alright, what do I want to do here? I think Dismember is required. I don't love taking 4 to remove a creature, but I don't love dying to creatures even more. Chalice of the Void is a big game. Even on the draw, it does a lot here. And it's a lot worse on the draw, but it is a good card. Force of Will, I'm not in love with either. I think I might want Echoing Truth just to play to the board a little better. Some more action on the table. All my creatures are fine. I don't think I want Venser. Just costing 4 is a lot for this matchup. And this looks... Oh, Relic of Progenitus is probably pretty good against this Turbo Delirium deck. Though it doesn't combo well with my Chalice. Chalice and go down to 1 Force of Will, I guess. Basically never want to get dazed. Alright, this looks like a deck I can play. Alright, I have the 1 Force of Will. I have the Relic of Progenitus. I'm on the draw with a Silvergill Adept. My land does not get wasted. This is a tough one. I'm going to keep it. Trust in the 7-card hand. I've been bobbled and they've seen the Relic. Okay, yeah, sure. That's alright, I was playing that on turn 1 anyway. Can't cast Daze with this card. I'm going to force pitching, I think, Master, or is it Time Shaper? Tide Shaper? Time. I'm going to pitch a Master, because Tide Shaper is a 1-drop. And my hand currently doesn't cast any spells. Alright, there we go. Now we're in business. I'm just going to start relicking them immediately. Get them out of here. Yeah, that 1 Force of Will took the Ragavan out of play. They could land dash a 2nd one. Alright, that doesn't look like it's the play. Oh, leading on Fiery Islet is something too. Like, that's nice. Okay, so they can cast Daze now. I can cast Tide Shaper with Kicker, which turns off their red mana, but plays into Daze. Whatever, daze me. Yeah, if I can deny red mana and deny the future card draw for that, that's pretty good. Or demand Bolt right now. Those are all things I'm pretty comfortable with. And that took off the life they would lose for tapping this card. Ooh, I think they forgot to respond with Lightning Bolt. It's too late now. That's an island. Oh, they're brainstorming. That's weird. Brainstorm resolves and then eat a card from the graveyard. All the cards are different card types right now, so that's a nice little clean denial of Delirium. Ooh, are we brainstorm locked over there? I'll hit him with another. And I'm going to attack with my Tide Shaper. Because I'm not playing a Lord this turn, I'm going to test the stack with the Adepts first. And Daze is the card they have. I'm going to reveal Lord of Atlantis. That might scare them into saving their Daze for the bigger threat. Nice. Or they just don't have Daze, which is also fine. I accept that as well. Bummer. Well, did they save Daze for the bigger threat, or did they... do they just not have Daze? I'm going to attack with my creatures and just go another Silvergill. Because the Lords really are the most important cards here by a lot. And if I can just dance around with these little cantrip creatures, eventually find the 3rd land, then I just don't have to think about it. Or I can just beat them in 2-point chunks while they don't do anything. Alright. I wonder how many red cards are in that hand right now. Tide Shaper for the win. I'm on the play, and I've kept this hand that doesn't have double blue yet, but I do have a 1-drop, and I can use Mutavault to activate Benthic Biomancer on turn 2, if I need to do that, if I don't draw a blue source for a Master. So Cavern of Souls is just the best straw right now, by a mile. Alright, it is a blue deck. A Scalding Tarn deck. It is Delver. Delver confirmed. Alright, so I did not get what I was looking for there. I can attack for 1. Maybe they'll block. Nope, no chance. I think that holding up Daze Protection or threatening to block a unflipped Delver with Mutavault are both worth more than pushing for 1 extra damage right there. Alright, so Daze just entered the revealed card zone. Glad I played around it. So they are making their 2nd land drop here. Ooh, they are Rug Delver. Like it's 1,000 years ago. Alright, well, played around Daze, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to keep this True Name Nemesis because that card is very good against Rug Delver. They're forcing back, pitching Ponder. Sure. Alright. That's a 2-3. You got it. Then in the end step, activate the Biomancer, hope to find a blue source. Chalice, don't need that. That chip's come and gone. Blue source, Shit. Alright, well, probably dead. Yeah, this Delver Tarmogoyf start when I can't cast spells is gonna get me dead real quick. Taking 6 here. Don't think this race is particularly winnable. I'm not sure if I could have won it if I hit the land there. And now it's definitely gone. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. So, if I force this, so I might as well. So I can force this, and then if I get True Name into play, which I can't because they have days. I guess, nah, alright, yeah, that's not gonna do it. Okay. Yeah, these are gone. Cavern of Souls was the draw that bricks the Tarmogoyf, and then I'm on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, so even if I draw Cavern, I think it's too slow there. Alright. On to game number 2. Tarmogoyf is a monster, it's true. So Dismember definitely comes in here. Echoing Truth. And this is basically the same match we just played, so. But this one has Tarmogoyf in it rather than just mono 1-drops. The Relic, and that also controls the size of Tarmogoyf. Force of Negation comes out. Some number of the Force of Wills come out. At least 2. Let's see what we need to do from here. I like Chalice, but I'm not sure it's... You don't want to draw 2, so I'm going to shave at least one of those. And I actually think I do want to go lower on Force of Will. Tide Shaper is not really necessary, except just as a 1-mana 2/2 in the deck. And I guess if clocking is going to be the plan, then it is kind of important. You don't want to draw 2 Aether Vials in this matchup either. So I'm gonna do this. Just playing with the number of Chalice and Aether Vial. They're both cards that you want in your opening hand if you're going to draw them. So 3 gives me, like, if I'm going to shave any, 3 is the number that maximizes them being in my opening hand while also reducing the chance of drawing one later. I'm going to keep this, though this is one of those hands that just dies to Force of Will Wasteland. Let's hope they boarded out Force of Will against Merfolk. Don't like this pause. Shit. Oh, there's Force of Will. Force pitching Force. Gonna need to draw an island immediately, or Cavern's even better. Right, they don't have the Wasteland. That's good. Ragavan is in play. Time to draw Cavern of Souls, please, deck. Uh-oh. We're gonna get Delvered. Alright, so this will depend on what this Ragavan starts flipping. They flipped an island. I wanted that. Now it's gone. We'll ponder action. They're looking for that Wasteland. They know I'm screwed right now. They did not shuffle or play a land. Interesting. Cavern. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna draw a card. Shit. Alright. This one's over. I guess I could still draw Cavern at any point and start to put up a resistance. They exiled Mutavault. Didn't need that one, that's okay. Tarmogoyf's in play as a 0/1. Cavern. I'm dead. I'm gonna tap in on that one. Like, we're not quite dead, but this is... We're far enough behind that I can save everyone some time here and just pass on that one. Okay, next round. On the play for round number 4, I have kept a hand with 2 lands and an Aether Vial in it. So here we go. Aether Vial's in there. I have Force Will back up. Are we playing against Delver for the 3rd time in a row? I think this hand's actually pretty reasonable against Delver, unlike the last one. In last game, if our Vial resolves, I think we win that game pretty cleanly, but obviously they had the Force, and then we didn't do anything. You were all there for that. Ooh. I'm gonna let that resolve. It's a little awkward that it kills Aether Vial and my Biomancer that I would Violin off it. But I don't think necessarily that committing more resources, like I would have to pitch that Biomancer or the Master to the Force to stop that, and yeah, whatever. Let's just 1-for-1 trade off Aether Vial. I snuck my Master in because I don't think a deck with Engineered Explosives in the main deck is gonna have days, and that's fine. So it looks like we're playing against a control deck of some variety. Maybe Bant Miracles or something. So Mutavault's going to be pretty good here. And I'm pretty into this Force of Will too, or slash negation. Various forces. Forces of various flavors. These matchups generally come down to like a sweeper or not. Like if they sweep my normal creatures and then plow my Mutavault, I'm in trouble. But if they don't do like exactly all that, it's not that bad. Walking Ballista right here in this deck, huh? I don't think I care about that. Sure, you have a Walking Ballista. That doesn't kill any of my creatures right now. I mean, they can Swords to Plowshares, but I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna make my monster grow here with the mana that's just sitting around. So here comes the plow. They're gonna try to plow master and then ping the other one. If this works, I'm screwed. Like if they have a force. Alright, they didn't. Cool. So let's loot. I'm gonna discard Waterlog Grove. That's like I skipped putting it into play. Ooh. Indestructible creature. Yeah, I'm playing this one. I know that Strand's Silvergill Adept in my hand, but having this indestructible creature is really nice. And putting ward on all my Merfolk, especially in the face of this Walking Ballista. That's big game. Okay, here we go. Is this where we die to some like Urza combo? Oh, it's other Merfolk have ward? Okay, that's gone. God, do they have a Snapcaster Mage? Oh, they have Teferi. That's kind of like Snapcaster Mage. I mean, this still has a +1 counter on it, so Ballista doesn't remove either of these creatures, regardless. And the Teferi, unbeknownst to them, turns on my Silvergill Adept, which is pretty funny. They're bouncing the Master. That is the one that would cost more mana to get back into play. So they figured they were losing Teferi either way because of Mutavault. Right, I am gonna cast our Silvergill Adept. They can just kill. I'm gonna attack Teferi before playing my 1-drop, or my X1. I'm gonna give them the chance to block and keep Teferi around. Right, they didn't fall for it. And I'm gonna play Chalice of the Void here. This turns off Swords to Plowshares, Ponder, Brainstorm, Snapcaster Mage, at least to get back a plow with it. They have 4 mana. They could buff Ballista and start zapping things, but that's a whole turn and cost them the card to trade with this that's already looted. Alright, Teferi is pretty good. Alright, they bounced my Biomancer. That's smart, because I have Chalice in play now. Outmaneuvered me. Time to draw Cavern. And dunk. Alright, finding the land was awesome here. That means I get to fire up Mutavault, pressure the Teferi, and then still cast a spell. I'm gonna give them chances to block with Ballista, because I still would rather Ballista be gone than Teferi. Alright, I'm gonna reveal the last mystery card in my hand. It's Silvergill Adept. That does die to Ballista, but it cantrips on the way through. True Name Nemesis is a nice one. Chalice of the Void plus Mutavault is a nice little pinch on the answers their deck plays. Like if they have a sweeper that doesn't hit the vault, and if they have Plow, I have Chalice. Another one of these is pretty nice. I can't double spell because all my things are double blue, at least all the things I can cast. I'm going to play the backup Mutavault, and I'm going to activate this one and attack with my creatures. They should be suspicious because I didn't play the Master before combat. God. Okay. Yeah, Ballista's fine. So they can block and trade, or they can ping. Yeah, pinging's fine. And they still take 2. And True Name Nemesis has no respect for any of these things. Okay. So next turn I can Master and then animate a Mutavault and attack for lethal. Alright, yep, they did the math. Scary stuff. They have red mana, so we're likely to see Pyroblast after board. So I think that Chalices all have to stay in. And I don't know if I even sideboard. Like, maybe Venser does something, but Mostly I think that my main deck just stays completely intact here. The Walking Ballista is weird. Like, that makes me think there's more going on in their deck than just a normal Jeskai control deck. And we saw Engineered Explosives as well, so maybe Sorceress Spyglass is something I'm interested in. Force of Negation can get a cut, and I think Merfolk Trickster. I mean, having Flash is cool, but they don't seem to have a lot of creatures over there. Yeah, I'm just going to do the Spyglasses. If there's a game 3 where I have more information about their deck, I'll make different choices. But right now, this looks pretty reasonable. I'm going to keep this hand on the draw with 1-drops, 2-drops, 3-drops, and 3 lands to cast them all. Ponder to start the game off. Tide Shaper doesn't even need to arrive with Kicker. Just 1 mana 2/2, let's go. Shape that Tide. Or just ride it in this case. And the Trickster, the one of Trickster still in the deck. Are there 1 or 2 of these? Yeah, there's 1 still in the deck. It's here to check them in their end step, and then untap and represent True Name Nemesis. If they didn't have effective sweepers game 1, they're gonna have them now, probably. And sometimes decks keep their Supreme Verdicts in the sideboard. I don't know why. That card's insane. Brainstorm found the fetch land. They're passing the turn. Alright, found a Master. Not gonna cast it. Not into a Brainstorm. If they do have Terminus, I don't want to let them set it up for free. They could just plow here. That's fine. Just a clean little 1-for-1. I'm still going to Trickster in their end step. Or I guess if they have Teferi, I'll Trickster in response to Teferi. Then it gets bounced. Oh, there's a Saga. That makes sense for the things we've seen so far. That's cool. Trinket Mage. Okay, nice. Alright, their deck is much cooler than I originally gave it credit for. I mean, we didn't see much. We knew something was going on over there, but I'm really excited about Trinket Mage and Ursa Saga hanging out. Echoing Truth, I wish was in the deck right now. Alright, so I'm gonna test them with this. Tap the Trinket Mage. Oh, Aether Vial. Right on time as usual. Attack for 2, and then play True Name Nemesis. See what they got. Alright, they didn't answer it on the stack. Is the best way to answer a True Name Nemesis usually. So Saga can make a 2/2 construct this turn, accounting for Seat of the Synod. Then a 3/3 construct the following turn. When Saga pops, they'll both be 4/4s. So the race is on here. Looks like they're trying to tap for a Council's Judgment, which I will force a will. Alright, the blue mana is not Council's Judgment. Monastery Mentor. What is this deck and how do I play it? This is incredible. If I'm gonna force, this is the spot. I think I am gonna force here. Like, True Name Nemesis puts a real clock on them, and they skipped a turn of construct development to cast Mentor. So Mentor is the way I just get out-muscled in a game like this. So I'm just gonna try to punch through with True Name. Le Masters, my opponent, if you're watching this video, please drop the link to your list in the comments. I want it. Alright, let's see what kind of sniper they are with Pithing Needle, because I do have 2 activated abilities in my hand, but they chose one that's not in my deck. Merfolk has moved away from Wasteland. It was a Wasteland deck for a long time, but that hasn't been the case for quite a while. Alright, Spyglass, show me the rest of your secrets. Prismatic Ending, Brainstorm, Salvagers. Oh my god, they're a Bomberman deck. Okay, I'm gonna name Auriok Salvagers. Oh yeah, the Ballista, that makes sense. Okay. The jig is up. Probably should have figured that out on my own, but I did not. There's Aether Vial. Here come my creatures. I'm fine trading off with Trinket Mage. Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe I should be drawing towards a Lord and trying to push more damage out of that possible 3/3 on future turns, or unblockable on future turns. That might have been a little wild. So they can spend a turn Prismatic Ending my Spyglass. They tutor up LED now, and then they can Bomber 2 turns out if they find a Ballista in between. This Brainstorm messes up everything that I think I know. Prismatic Ending can also just remove Aether Vial. But I'm currently hellbent, so Vial is not particularly scary. So they are making a construct on the way out. That has become part of the plan. So I'm not getting Prismatic ended this turn. Let's see if they just get the LED. Yeah, okay. So bombing is still part of the plan. Either spell bomb. Okay. That's pretty good. Ooh. That's good. Alright. I'm gonna attack. And I think I Chalice on 0. Yeah. That turns off the Bomberman combo. I could have drawn a card here. Maybe I'm supposed to do that, actually. Okay. Should have done it pre-combat in case I found a Lord. LOL. I deserve that. Alright, now I'm going to slow roll it and just Vial it in. Yeah, I missed a damage there. Alright, there's Salvagers. They need to remove both Chalice and Spyglass before they can combo me. Alright, so I can cast Lord of Atlantis. And if they spell bomb it, I just Vial it back in. Back for 4. Okay, they're at 6. Could be at 5. Yeah, they can also just start drawing cards with their Aether Spell Bomb and picking it back up. Oh no, they can't pick it up with Salvagers because I have Spyglass on Salvagers. Ponder's cool. Yeah, if I had played the Lord last turn, I would have been able to leave up the Aether Vial play and put a Chalice on 1 this turn, so mistakes were made. Okay, so that's gone. 1 down. Oh god, they have another one. 2 down. Is their last card in hand Walking Ballista? Did they do it? Oh, they can draw their deck with Spell Bomb. Okay, yeah. I lost this game because I didn't activate Waterlogged Grove before combat. Yeah, if Chalice on 1's also in play, then this line doesn't exist. Wow, blew it. Alright, now I know what they're doing. Relic's coming in. Chalice is extra good. Force Negation is good too. Back to Basics is really good. And all these cards are good. What am I supposed to do here? Every single card in my deck is good. Let's see. Spyglass, definitely. Chalice on 0 and 1 are all good. Force of Will, I think I can deal with less of. I want to be more of a prison deck than a counterspell deck, I think. Now that I know they're not going to, like, Terminus me. Oh, my creatures still play. I mean, I could Trickster to turn off Salvager for a turn, but I have all these other elements coming in. Maybe the Back to Basics are too much. And I can do the Vial thing where I want to draw exactly 1 in a game. And plus they have Pithing Needle and Saga to tutor it, so might not even be particularly reliable. And I don't need all 3 dismembers. They only have 1 creature I really want to dismember. Oh, Trickster is really good against that particular creature. Yeah, I want Trickster back in the deck just as more creatures, because if I'm not able to pressure them, they'll win eventually. And that is a disruptive element that's also a creature. Uh-oh. Got that 1 lander. Cavern is a really good land to have, though. I'm going to keep this on the strength of Relic of Progenitus drawing a card, maybe. Merfolk. And I'm going to lead on Tide Shaper. Alright, 1/1 creature in play. Let's party. We haven't seen a Wasteland yet out of them. I hope they don't start now. Alright, Pluto Delta. Turns on Tide Shaper. Esper Sentinel. Yikes. I really hope I draw a land right now. Fuck. Well, I'll attack for 2, let them draw a card off Esper Sentinel, and then get my Aether Vial into play, which is not great, because it shows exactly how weak I am. Like, if they Force of Will this, that's a problem. They get to draw an extra card off that. It's alright, this hand is still really good. It just needs an island off the top at any point, and we're doing it. Yeah, Needle's good. It's alright, my plan is to draw island anyway. Expedition maps in their deck, that's sweet. Alright, they're not blocking. We knew that. Come on, deck, draw an island. Draw an island. Jesus! Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to just mulligan these one-landers. Maybe I'm putting way too much faith in my deck to do anything helpful. Um, one like real fundamental difference between this deck and most decks I play is that most decks I play have cantrips in them, like 1-mana cantrips. So looking at a hand that needs a second land to function in a deck like this versus in the normal type of deck I play is actually a big difference. Because this one just has to draw it. Cracking the map. Is it time for Saga? Yep, Saga time. And Brainstone. Wow. Haven't seen this one in play yet. I'm excited about it. Esper Sentinel beats down some more. Help me out here, deck. Alright, Tide Shaper, continue your war. And I'm going to cast the other one. Yeah, getting on board is better, I think, than drawing a random card here. Because at some point I'll find the second land, and then having this unblockable force in play while their life total's low seems like it's worth doing, worth considering. No attacks this time. Is it time to draw a land? Nope. It is not. And I'm not going to attack because they have a 4/4 blocker now. And I'm not going to pop Relic because they could just win on their turn if it's not in play. Yeah, this game brought to you by a suboptimal mulligan decision, probably. Alright, I don't even care about Swords of Plowshares, though I am also losing to their beatdown plan right now. So they could tutor up a second Pithing Needle and turn off my Relic, which is not great. But if I pop my Relic, then they could tutor up LED and just win the game. So I'm just going to have to let this resolve, and what happens, happens. They got Aether Spellbomb. Another Plow, sure. Alright, now the beats are real. I'm going to have to pop Relic just to have it any chance of being alive. It's a Relic's popped. Found another thing I can't cast. I am going to tick up Vial. Okay. Alright, I have a creature in play now. 6. But, you know, not really. Echoing Truth is my only way out of this. And even that's not a good way out of it. Because I can chump this turn, or I can take 13 this turn, and I'm still dead in 2 turns to Esper Sentinel. If they can remove, this with Aether Spellbomb, but that removes 2 damage from the board. Yeah, we're dead. We win this game every single time that we draw a land, or we don't, or we get Aether Vial. Like they didn't do much for a long time, and our hand is just waiting to explode. But maybe I need to mulligan differently with this deck. So on to the last round. On the play, in the final round, playing for that positive record. I've kept a hand with 2 lands and an Aether Vial. Hopefully that's enough. This is where we get a Force of Will Wastelanded. Alright, it didn't happen. Maybe we will show up here. But the good news is the games I've lost from like having one-landers that didn't get there, that can be fixed with mulligan decisions. And that's a big deal for a deck like this. Like this deck comes out blazing every time its mana's under it, or with an Aether Vial. Been a lot of steamrolls there. I'm gonna name Merfolk, of course. And it's a little awkward that they just have Verdant Catacombs, because I do want to kick Tide Shaper. Maybe I just attack. Yeah, just in for 2. That's the plan. Whatever this Verdant Catacombs deck is, I feel like Tide Shaper is going to be great. If I can turn like Dark Depths into an island, that would be so sick. But they are fetching. Hopefully I didn't just jam straight into a Fatal Push. Alright, nope, Dried Arbor. That one's fine. Am I going to get to turn a Cradle into an island? Nope. But I will turn Dried Arbor. Alright, I don't care about that. I'm not going to violin my Tide Shaper because I want to kick it. Got lots of 2s coming. Well, 1, 2, and then a bunch of powerful 3s coming. Cast with Kicker. Can't counter it. Here it comes. I'm going to turn Dryad Arbor into an island. I think it's still a creature, even when it's an island. But it's definitely not a green source anymore. We're about to figure out how the magic rules work. Yeah, it is a land creature - Dryad Island now. No longer a forest. Glimpse of Nature. That's a no from me, dog. I'm going to pitch one of the true names, because the way that my curve is lining up, a Violin Master, tick up Vial, cast Tide Shaper, take them off another forest. I think that's how this game is going to go. Ah, boo. Alright, I'm not going to get to turn another forest into an island. They can't really attack with Scavenging Ooze here. That's good news. And they can't pick up Dryad Arbor with Quirion Ranger. They can still untap it for blue mana, though. Master's in. Files going up to 3. Beautivault, the sweet one. So I can crunch for 6 damage here. Or I can try to Tide Shape another land. I think shaping another land is fine. Or maybe I just... No, I don't shape the land. I attack with Mutavault. That's what I should be doing. But this is the newly controlled one. And this is the one I've already had. So activate this. Yeah, I'm just going to play another 3/3. The Ranger makes it pointless to shape another island. So I just want the creature. I'm not going to offer a trade with Scavenging Ooze for my Master. Yeah, they take 6 here, they go to 10, and then next turn they take way more than 10. I think it's 13 is my quick count. Let's play another one of these, and hope I don't die to Craterhoof Behemoth, I guess. They have land number 4. It's not Cradle, though, so I'll take that. Nettle Sentinel doesn't change the game right now. Heritage Druid probably does. Yeah, if they have Natural Order, I'm in a little bit of trouble. True Name can absorb some trample damage. Oh, wow. I think we're winning this one. Alright, Violin, the True Name Nemesis. Protection from you. That is plenty of lethal damage. And fire up a Mutavault. In goes the team. They have to be able to kill Master for this to not work. There they are. Unblockable. 3, 6, 9, 13. Yeah, they have to kill Master of the Pearl Trident with a bunch of green mana, 1 blue mana. Yeah, they can't pick up the Dryad Arbor with Quirion Ranger because it's not a forest. That would be a cool trick to remove Landwalk. That's just not how that works. And splat. Okay, for the sideboard, I'm going to want everything that's a removal spell, plus the Grafdigger's Cages. So Grafdigger's Cage, Dismember. Spyglass is really interesting because that can mess with symbiotes and rangers. Probably want Venser. Probably want Echoing Truth. This is my tier list right now. Definitely want Cage and Dismember, and then Venser and Echoing Truth are the maybes. Vial is okay. Chalice is pretty good, but on the draw, and especially since they have Allosaurus Shepherd in decks these days, I can't really count on it. But I do think that having the removal, like if they cast a spell into Chalice, Chalice triggers, then I Dismember the Shepherd in response, their spell is countered, and it's too late to take it back. So that's a big deal. Merfolk Trickster seems pretty good here. Force of Negation, I think I want less of. Like, Force of Will is great when they don't have Shepherd, but sometimes they have Shepherd, so you have to balance your counter spells and removal spells in this matchup. Tide Shaper was really good there, actually. Right, I think I'm going to shave a second Aether Vial, because if they have Collector Oof, that's something that I want to give a little bit of respect to. So that's currently 4 cards out, 5 cards in, and that's just the first tier of cards. Venser does beat Allosaurus Shepherd, but Venser's also a 4-drop. So like, what's a reasonable hope to have that? All my creatures are basically True Name Nemesis because of the Lords and the Tide Shaper. So that is mostly just a 3-mana card here. That could be anything. I think I want Echoing Truth. I think that answering Shepherd in play is going to be more important than a lot of other things. Oh, Merfolk Trickster can turn off Shepherd with a Chalice trigger on the stack too. That's really cool. All right, this is kind of a Frankenstein monster of sideboard plans, but I think the numbers make sense. If I had another minute to think about it, I might end up with the Vencers in the deck too. But for the time I had, that seems fine. This hand's good. I get to shape the Tide. I have Dismember and Force. It's basically everything I want to do in this matchup. Choke is a card that they play. Didn't think about that one at all during sideboarding, but I think I have a pretty reasonable plan for it, which is just don't die. All right, Mutavault, cast Dismember. I'm literally going to point this at the first creature because Quirion Ranger also makes my Tide Shapers a whole lot worse. Firing it off on Ranger means that if they have Shepherd, this Force of Will gets really bad. Yeah, there's the Shep. Ooh, someone doesn't have green mana. Cast with Kicker. Freeze it up. Mono blue. Mono blue elves. That's not a deck you want to play. That's an island. Yeah, did you see them tap that thing for blue? Realize what they did and back it up? Thought so. Alright. I'm going to start drawing extra cards with Svyelyn. Bashing in with my Shaper. This one is feeling pretty good, team. And having the second Shaper whenever they do find a second land, or Force of Will's not going to help me. Never mind. It's definitely a Shaper, not a Force of Will. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so Mutavault. Tap. Make sure this is one without Summoning Sickness. It is. Alright, make you a 2/2. Bash for 1,000,000, draw a card. Yeah, they're actually just dead next turn. That was something. Tide Shaper took them right out of this game. Yeah, wow. That was nasty. All right, Tide Shaper. Showing up here. Okay, so we salvaged the positive record after 2 games where I just couldn't get my mana under me. And it is important to keep in mind that this is a 20-land deck without the Cantrip Cartel. Like, there is no Ponder, Brainstorm, Abundant Harvest sort of stuff, Preordain, that's going to find you your land drops. So you do have to use your mulligan to make sure that your hand is functional. There's 20 lands in the deck, so like 1 in 3 cards is a land. So if you keep a 1-lander, you can expect like 1 out of the next 3 draw steps to be a land, just on average. And even if you are on average and you do find it, like being on the draw, that might still cost you to miss your second land drop. On the play, you might miss it twice, and that doesn't even account for the times that you're below expectation and you just draw 4 spells in a row, which did happen to me once. So the 1-land Aether Vial hands, I think you probably still want to keep because Vial is part of the mana base of this deck. But if you do end up getting Force of Will and then not drawing another land, that could cost you a game. But I do think you keep 1-landers with Vial, though I don't think you should keep 1-landers without Vial, just based on my experience. Like, you got to use your mulligan to make sure you're actually playing the game with a deck like this. That said, we won all the games we got to cast spells in. This was pretty powerful. Svyelyn was pretty sweet the whole time it was here. Drew a bunch of cards. Tide Shaper overperformed. The list I found had a split of 1-drops. They had like 2 Tide Shapers, 2 Benthic Biomancers, and like some other random shit. And I'm just like, nah, 4 of these. And I am good with that decision. Just turning on the Island Walk is such a huge deal. And sometimes you just, screw an Elves player completely out of the game. So count that. I love Tide Shaper. I expect that to be a Merfolk staple moving forward. I have been asked to play this deck twice this month. There is another one in my recording queue. It'll probably be a couple weeks from now before you see it. But if you want to see more of this deck, don't worry. More is coming, and I will make different mulligan decisions. The other version has Rishadan Deckhand in the 1-drop slot, but I'm going to make sure it's supplemented by Tide Shapers and work the deckhands in somewhere else. So thank you, Eric, for requesting I play Merfolk. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Make sure to comment any thoughts about the list or how I played it or anything. And remember to like and subscribe the channel while you're here. And I'll see you for the next video.